Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. All right, so we're going to do some members-only impromptu live. We're going to look at the usual names that we do, and then we'll see if there's anything else you want to look at. Trying to keep this fairly short. Would like to be done before 2 p.m. Eastern. And then I got to go live for stocks at 3:15. So, first things first, we'll start on the longer-term time frames. We'll zoom in for there because we have a clear bear break to a weekly little lower high and lower low. So, I'm personally not going to call the weekly uptrend lost. I'm going to say we're still in a weekly uptrend, but clearly this tells us further consolidation is needed. For me, the clear consolidation period is going to be 7,427. And that's definitely me taking in, my own personal opinion a bit. And you could definitely say that the weekly uptrend is lost, and I wouldn't argue with you too much. But for me personally, it was such a brief, quick pullback that that's not a clear period of weekly consolidation for me. So what we're looking at now is the weekly exponential support, and that's pretty much because we don't have a ton of support levels nearby. The daily time frame, 89.19, but other than that, we're looking down in the mid $7,000 range. So as far as previous price levels, there's not a ton in this area. So weekly time frame, we're going to have a visual target of the exponential 12-period support, and that's currently, it's going to be at about 8,900. If we were to keep dropping down to approach it, it would keep dropping with the price, and we would eventually get to it. But that's the short-term level to be watching. And what I just did a quick little day trade, and it wasn't very significant, but where did I place my orders? We had a setup where I was looking at, again, the 12-hour time frame for some clarity, and I assumed that if we see a bear break to 9,857, if that level was going to break, in my opinion, it's going to trigger stops, and we're going to see 96.51 fall shortly after it. And then I would know that there's a good amount of stop losses, probably under 96.51. Those are the two very clear support levels, and they're both about 2% within range of each other. So when I put scale in orders, I put them under 9,600 to potentially cash in on getting filled on those orders dropping down. So my first fill was 95.12, and then I had orders at 94, 93, 92, and of course only the top one filled, and I have already exited. And I exited on this 5-minute oversold bounce because, again, I'm playing against the trend on all time frames, and it was a 1.8% bounce in less than 10 minutes. Yes, it was only one order. I'm not taking my entire account 1.8%, but it was enough to be about a 33% of a day maker, and I will take that every time when it's that quick and it's against momentum. And we also aren't that oversold on longer term time frames. The 4-hour RSI is only just getting oversold, and even the hourly RSI, it was getting pretty beat up. It was down in the low 20s. But again, that's just me being conservative and taking those gains while I have them. So now we're going to continue just watching how this little bounce attempt plays out. It's a 5-minute equilibrium. If we break bullish over the top of 9,710, we'll zoom out to the 15-minute chart, and then we'll just look for a 15-minute lower high, and we'll play the zoom out game. As far as bears are concerned, if not already in a position, bears are looking to play this zoom out game to make their entries. Either a 15-minute lower high at exponential resistance, or if you want to be more conservative, you're looking for a 4-hour lower high at exponential resistance. And again, just looking for those lower highs to form to be making those entries. And even bears, I scale in for bullish oversold bounce plays. Bears can be scaling in. Let's just use an example. If we were to see a 15-minute oversold bounce actually get some momentum, I could begin scaling in at 9,850, 9,900, 9,950, 10,000, looking for a rejection on the back test of those exponential moving averages. So the same scale-in strategy can be used in the other direction because, again, we can't expect to nail tops and bottoms, and we want to allow ourselves some breathing room for that to occur. If we see continuation down and this bounce breaks bearish on the 5-minute time frame equilibrium, I'm going to be watching and scaling in again. And I will, again, go clearly lower than where our current low is, which is down at 9,426. I had an order sitting at 9,413 or so, and I pulled that because I know that if we're going to see lower lows, we're likely going to clearly break that level. So I moved that top bid, and now my top bid is in the low 9,300s, and we'll take it from there. But again, just knowing that the hourly RSI at that point, if we do see another leg down and break 9,400, the hourly RSI will be down approaching the teens, and that's when I am comfortable scaling in. Again, I'm all cash right now, So I can very easily scale into some positions in the low 9,000s and still be pretty comfortable at this point. If the hourly RSI cools off on a short-term oversold bounce, I'm going to pull those bids and either just drop them under 9,000 or just remain all cash and patiently wait for a better bull entry opportunity. Other targets that we can be looking at are those futures gaps, and I don't have those off the top of my head as far as what levels they are. I know we've got one. It depends on whether you're using the daily time frame or the 4-hour. We have one in the mid 7,000s. That's on the 4-hour time frame, and let's pull these up. I don't know the ticker off the top of my head either. So there's a gap down at 8,515. That's the most clear one, and that's a level that we can be watching as well. So this is monthly consolidation now, and we saw Litecoin give us the heads up 2 videos ago, I think it was. It said, okay, Litecoin's getting monthly consolidation. It gave us the clear heads up. It's not as clear on Bitcoin at this point, but if we do pull back and we break the low, whatever this month low is, if we break it next month, we're going to be looking for a monthly higher low to try and form, because the only trend change that hasn't taken place on these longer term time frames is the monthly. So I'll check back in on Bitcoin on this 5-minute equilibrium as we continue. Ethereum, again, is just in absolute free fall at this point. In the last 7 days, 1 week, we have pulled back 40%. That's huge. Daily RSI is now oversold. The weekly uptrend has been lost. The monthly time frame is pulling back to try and form a monthly high or low. But from where we stand to head back to the high of 2019, we would have to see a 90% move. And while we know that's possible in the crypto space, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon personally. So what this pullback is showing me is that I anticipate that the hype of the last 3 months has faded, obviously. And now we're going to be looking at potentially some prolonged consolidation. It might be a slow, once we find a range, it might be a slower late summer into the fall, and we might not see action pick up again until we head towards the winter. So that's something to be aware of, because again, a 90% move to get back to where we came from, it's going to take a while to regain that bullish momentum to get to that level, especially the fact that ETH BTC is now crushed, daily oversold. I'm treating it as a black dirt breakdown, meaning all-time lows. I'm not quite sure if it is specifically all-time lows. Maybe it is. Nope, not yet. We got 0.01, but that's just the way I'm treating it, and it's keeping me certainly protective. The weekly time frame in free fall, the daily time frame, anything under 2436 is just a lower high on the daily. We're nowhere near changing any trends, and again, just absolutely crushed. Change those daily trends and it'll be notable for me. Until that happens, only keeping watch on Litecoin and Ethereum out of the corner of my eye, focused staying on Bitcoin. So Litecoin, a clear drop as well. Again, every single day is still a lower high on this pullback for Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. And that's 7 days in a row now. And Litecoin has pulled back 39% over that period in time. The monthly consolidation is underway here as well. And again, to get back to our recent highs on where we came from, 93% required on Litecoin. So we have to form a monthly higher low compared to 22 and then see a bull break of 146. Ideal scenario is we set a monthly higher low on these names. Ideally, obviously, the sooner the better, August or September at the latest, and then the bulls try and slowly make their way back up towards resistance in the winter. LTC BTC still weak, dropping to lower lows, not as weak as the ETH BTC pairing, but certainly weak. We're looking down at 0068 as the next key support level, and we are in free fall. XRP, same thing, 7 days in a row with lower lows. XRP gave us a red flag first, losing the weekly uptrend a while ago, and we are coming up on very key support, 285. And that's a potential bottom fishing play. I don't trade XRP, and the bears certainly have had more firm control of this coin than many others, but we did just bounce off. Actually, I take that back. Looks like we broke it. Just barely. We're still considering that multiple holds. Let's see, it's 282. That's the absolute low. 282 with a bunch of holds of 285, and we just hit 282 again. So technically, we can call it multiple bottoms still holding. But if this level breaks, look at the weekly time frame here and what's under that. 246 is the only level under that. And this is Bitfinex. Ripple, XRP is in a lot of pain and they're in some trouble if we break that level. BNB dropping down. Again, BNB gave us the signal of some weakness and told us to be cautious a few weeks ago. Bearish reversal candle on the monthly has confirmed monthly consolidation underway. So that was a potential clue that I was using, just in the sense that Binance has been the lead crypto name all of 2019. And if it's going to start monthly consolidation, the potential that it would have overhang on other names as well. And that is the case, certainly. Next clear support is 1830. And daily oversold conditions for the first time from all-time highs. Worth scouting, absolutely. We're not there quite yet, but we're on the verge of it. Next daily support is 2314. So we will anticipate a monthly high or low will form on Binance. I'm going to be watching Binance and Litecoin to be looking for clues on Bitcoin as to when our monthly high or lows have formed. Link, clear bear break, weekly high or low has not been established yet. Heading back to weekly exponential supports, they're still a long way away. And again, because we ran up so hard and fast, we did not establish support on the way up. And we can easily pull back further. So just be aware that bears are in complete control. Anything under 333 is just a daily low or high. And watching those weekly exponential supports as potential visual targets. Still tightening up on BTC. We're going to look for a clear break sometime within the next 20 minutes. And again, if it's a bear break, that hourly RSI will be beat up. And I will be looking to have some scale-in orders potentially hit. So I'm watching the thread in the chat room where I posted a link. And if you want me to look at any coins, any altcoins, or have any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask in that thread. And Polo has the ETH BTC history. Thanks for that. So we're down at 205, lowest price since before I was trading cryptocurrency. March 2017. Altcoins are just crushed. And the fact that Bitcoin is pulling back and not trading in a sideways channel, I think the sideways channel was the best chance that the altcoins had to maybe get some breathing room and some relief. But now that we just broke straight to bearish on Bitcoin without getting this 3-day equilibrium with any follow through, that is a red flag for alts in my opinion. I don't think I'm ever going to have interest trading alts in the cryptocurrency space. And that's just after seeing the marijuana sector and having 8 stocks to play, and then the hype and FOMO caught on, and next thing you know, there's over 100, and I watched a ton of them go to 0, and just knowing that that was going to happen, and it dilutes, ooh, first hummingbird. It dilutes it's the disadvantage of sitting with big glass windows in front of me. It lost my train of thought. It dilutes the focus on the good projects or the fundamentals, and it just clouds it, and it makes it a lot harder to find. And in my opinion, just sticking with the major names that's what I'm going to do. Nice and easy that way. You don't have to search through thousands of coins to try and find who's going to be the winner. I'm not going to give up on ETH and LTC. They have established themselves in enough of the cryptocurrency narrative that people should have interest in them for a lot of time to come. BAT, give me pairings and exchanges, please. BCH USD on Coinbase. So we're in monthly consolidation here. Again, just always starting with a longer term time frame and zooming in. Low, high, and now we're looking for the monthly high or low to form. Daily time frame is an inside bar, so we actually held support, which is certainly a notable difference. And I would be looking at the 4-hour chart, probably the 12-hour for clarity. So low, high, trying for this 12-hour high or low. And if the bulls can get some follow through on this bounce and change the 15-minute trend or change the hourly trend, then we could stay within this 12-hour tightening range for another day or two. As far as support, if that were to break, we're looking down at 227.40. And if that were to break bullish, anything under 429 is just a daily lower high. Best case scenario for Bitcoin, 15-minute lower high, 10,000. Best case scenario. I'd be surprised if that happened. I don't think bulls will be able to get that far up, but I've been surprised in the past. BAT BTC on Binance. Daily downtrend, lower highs, very clear. Every bounce is just giving us a lower high. Exponential resistance as a bit of a guide the past couple weeks. 2243 support has broken. So we zoom out to the weekly. The weekly is in free fall. We're taking out all supports. 2056 is the only thing nearby. And BAT is just one of the other altcoins, all doing the same thing and getting crushed against Bitcoin. But no support in sight, have to change the daily trend. BQX BTC on Binance. So in a tightening daily range, trying to form the higher low at 1075, but it's not clearly set yet because every little day is a lower high. Have to break that pattern to be looking at a shift. So I'm looking at the high, low of the pullback, lower high, and trying to form a higher low. So let's say most important range is 147, support of 912, lower high of 133, and trying for that higher low. Again, I'm not calling that our higher low yet. You can see the volume dropping off, and expect that volume to stay low as we tighten, and then we'll look for a clear break sometime before the weekend, probably into the weekend. Game plan for long-term no-touch positions is very simple. They're long-term no-touch positions, and that's what they mean. And I account for them, you know, every once in a while. I'll do my assets allocation, and I'll write down what's my Fidelity account at, what's my Coinbase account at, what's my bank account at, I just tally up everything to know what my net worth is, and I never include it. It's always been zero. So it's always a bonus, and if they go to zero, nothing about my financial situation changes. So when I say no touch, I really mean it. Five-minute check-in on Bitcoin. Looks like we had a little bull break, but we didn't break the second level of 97.10, so we have to be skeptical of bulls, especially because the 5-minute exponential resistance is lining up there as well, and that is a potential 15-minute bear flag we have to be cautious of. Tim just posted in the chat room about the dollar. I've been watching the dollar very close, and there's a key pattern right now that the dollar is trying to confirm, this inverse head and shoulders on the daily. Let's go monthly perspective on the dollar, because again, everybody's talking about dollar weakness in the crypto space and all that, and honestly, I am never going to look for dollar weakness until the chart shows me dollar weakness. I'm never going to look for a dollar collapse or any of these macro events that cryptocurrency bulls are looking for to really, you know, spark the switch over to cryptocurrency. It'll be in the charts. And right now, the monthly time frame is in a clear uptrend, and it has been since February of 2018. So an uptrend for pretty much a year and a half. And if we were to break bearish from this tightening pattern on the daily, that would increase the odds that we lose the monthly uptrend for the first time in a year and a half. But we're in the process of this potential inverse head and shoulders pattern. And if we break 97.59 and 97.77, it's a clear bull break that tells us our monthly high or low has been set, and we're looking back at our multiple year high of 98.37. So I personally don't see any weakness in the dollar unless we were to see a break of the monthly uptrend, which right now, that monthly high or low, most important level is 95.03, and if we confirm that inverse head and shoulders, then our new higher low will be 95.84. So I personally, unless the 4-hour RSI gets extreme down into the low 20s, I personally am going to be looking, and my y-axis on this chart has been whack for Bitcoin for the past couple days, and auto doesn't fix it. But unless the 4-hour RSI gets extreme, my bounce plays are going to be very short term. Like I just did, I flipped that 1.8%. And don't care if it goes up from here, because I know if it goes up and keeps going up and I sold too early, I'll just be looking for a 15-minute lower high or just be looking for an hourly lower high. So it's going to require 4-hour RSI getting to extremes for me to be looking to hold some of these scale-in positions for a more prolonged period. So bulls, stay patient out there. We can always drop lower. We have a lot of traders looking for targets in the mid 8,000s. That's still another 12% away from where we stand right now. The daily chart being extended is another reason that I may look to hold some scale-in positions a bit longer. And again, just 7 days in a row of lower highs every day. And that was one of the reasons that we were looking for an entry the last time it happened. And it was a lower high every day for 6 days in a row. So very similar action here. Look how similar this is, where this bounce was a bit more significant. A little weak bounce. It's just a pretty similar pattern. So it's not game over for bulls. There'll be bounces. We just had bounces on the way down. There's so much opportunity in both directions. The hourly bounces gave us 6.5%, 4.5%, 5.5%, and then most recently, 13%. And then, of course, the bears having significant gains on the way down as well. Looks like we did just we're right at the top of the initial bounce, testing 5-minute exponential resistance. So that's that. I'm going to finish up here and go back live in an hour and a half, mostly talking about stocks. But I'll check in on the cryptocurrency space as well. And yes, this will be recorded, and I will upload it publicly once it processes, but that takes a little while. It'll probably be an hour or so. So that'll be delayed info at that point, but it will be recorded somewhere. So hope you all have a good afternoon. Establish those game plans. Stick to your stop losses. They're essential in both directions. And I'll see you soon.